Right, so today we're going to look at category 2. Category is going to talk about linear functions, equations, inequalities. There's a little bit of systems in here. So a couple of just little graphics to help you remember. If the slope is going up, it's a positive. If it's going down, it's negative. If it's a vertical line, it is undefined, because remember that has a 0 on the denominator. And if it's a horizontal line, the slope is 0. So again, horizontal is just going to be a y equals whatever number we're on for our equation. Vertical is an x equals, like when we do axis of symmetry. This is on your formula chart. Slope, aka rate of change, m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Change in y over change in x in a table. Rise over run in a graph. You can also make a mini table to do change in y over change in x. We can always graph in the calculator. Intercepts are where the graph crosses the axes. So remember, these are a little bit backwards from what we think. X-intercepts are where y is equal to 0. So we're looking for the x value when y is 0.
Teachers, this is a reminder that the Algebra 1 EOC FAQ for test administrators and hall managers and substitute test administrators will be starting at 3:45 and Thompson Conference Room. Thank you.
Where x equals 0 is going to be a y-intercept. So we're looking for the y value on the y-intercept, and then we're looking for the x value on the x-intercept. Remember, x-intercepts are also called zeros, solutions, and roots. Okay, so we're going to do the we do's, and then you can go back and do the you do's in the computer. So what is the y-intercept? Again, so we're looking for, we have x, y. We want to know the y-intercept. That means x is 0. So we can just plug 0 in for x. Well, 7 times 0 is 0, so I have negative 5y equals 35, so I can divide by negative 5. Y is a negative 7. So remember, again, it's x, y, so 0, negative 7, and it's going to be A. On this next one, the graph shows a linear function. What is the 0? Remember, these are the x-intercepts of the function. That's going to be way down here. Now, we can't actually see that. So one of your strategies might be to go ahead and put this into list and spreadsheet. So I'm going to find my points real quick. So this looks like it is 8 and 9. This one looks to be 10, 11, 12, and 6. So if we go ahead and we put those into our list and spreadsheet, remember, you will have this fabulous tool. We need to make sure we use it. So let's see, new document, form, X and Y, so 8 and 12, 9 and 6. This is linear, so we're going to say menu 4, 1, 3 is linear. X, Y, enter, enter. And here is my equation. Now, we can write down that equation. That's great. Y equals negative 3 fourths x plus 15. But that's not really going to help us, because this is a y-intercept, so we know it's not that one. So what we do need to do is we can say control doc, and it puts that equation into the graph. We're going to up arrow. Oh, I can't see it. You can do your window, or you can just say control T. And again, we're looking for where the y value is 0. There it is. So x is 20. Here we have rate of change, aka slope. So we can just say change in y over change in x. You can do that in your calculator if you wanted. We can say here. So we know this is plus 4. If you want to be lazy, you can say 3.65 minus 2.25 is 1.4. So it's change in y, 1.4 over change in x. I can just say divided by 4.35 per bagel. It's going to be A. Sorry, I was not high enough on that one. So here, change in Y, change in X, 0.35. Okay? So what you do, you do, go ahead and pause it, you do all of the you do, and then you can answer the questions in the computer, and then I'll go back over it. Welcome back. X-intercept is going to be the X value when Y is 0. So if I put 0 here, this goes away. 7X equals 35. Divide by 7. X is 5. Remember, 5, 0. Don't choose B. This is a Y-intercept. We want an X-intercept. Same thing here. I would put it into the table. It is still 8 and 9 and 12 and 6. Now, previously, this is saying what is the slope? That's the M. We already wrote the equation for this line, -3/4, so it is B. Again, you can do list M spreadsheets, or you can do change in Y over change in X. Number 3 actually had a typo. I meant to tell you that ahead of time. I apologize. So negative, we're going to make all of these negative. And when you went to the computer, you saw that. So we can count. These are counting by 100. So if I'm going to go from 900 to 700, that's going to be a -200. And these are counting by 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So -200 over 10 is a -$20 a month, which was A. So hopefully you did pretty well there. You can work on these release questions if you like at home, or we'll have some time in class. There is a number 5 as well. So here we have, this is going to talk about scatter plots. So remember, positive scatter plots go increase. So as X goes up, so does Y. You can also say as X goes down, so does Y, because a negative divided by a negative is still a positive. Here is a negative, so as X goes up, the Y goes down, or vice versa. X goes down and Y goes up, because they're opposite. There is no correlation here. Okay? Remember, we can use our line of best fit to make predictions. We can use our calculator, list M spreadsheet, to come up with our equation, and then if we do, this will also, down here, R, not R squared, is our correlation coefficient. So remember, if it is closer to 1 or -1, it is a strong correlation. If it is closer to 0, it is a weak correlation. Okay? And then you have your slope again. This one is also talking about list M spreadsheet. Here on the we do, okay, this is just asking about slope. So you can use any of those formulas. I'm going to use a mini table. You can also put these into your list M spreadsheet, and it will give you that as well. So this is, I'm sorry, this is a -5. So +4 -5, remember, change in Y over change in X. So it's going to be 4 over a -5. Remember, that negative can be in the top, it can be in the bottom, or it can be in the middle. All of these are equal. So we are going to choose letter C. Here we have, again, rate of change. All of these are words for slope. I'm going to do these because they're positive. So +3 and +4. So again, Y over X. If you are flipping those, you need to go back to your formula chart, and it has the formula in there. Okay? So you need to make sure you check that, so you're not messing that up. Because as you can see, they're going to have the flip-flop of it. So this one is actually B. And then here, you can do a couple of things. First of all, this is a positive correlation. So the slope is positive, so it cannot be these two. Here, it's really close to 4. So if you look at your y-intercept, It has to be D. So you can use some process of elimination there. You can also put this into list and spreadsheets. I would choose 0, 4 right here, and then I would also choose this one, which is 28 and 22. If you put it into list and spreadsheet, then you will see, right, 0, 28, 4, and 22. It is linear, we know that because it makes a line. Menu 4, 1, 3, X, Y. So we can write this equation, and it says 0.064 plus 4. So you can see there the B's are completely different. So I would like you to pause me and do the you do, and then when we come back, put your answers in the calculator, and then we'll see how you did. So welcome back. So on this one, again, minus 10, minus 3. Now a negative over a negative is a positive. So this one is B. Hopefully you did quite well there. Here, minus 2 plus 3. Again, y over x, always negative 2 over positive 3. Look at these answers very carefully. See? And then again here, this is a negative correlation, so it could be this one, it can't be these two, or it could be here. So if I continued my line, I know that my y-intercept is around 120. So now I'm looking here, so it has to be A. You can work on these released questions again for homework, or we can work on them in class tomorrow. There is one on the back. Oh, I flipped the wrong way, sorry. There are some on the back as well. The last piece is going to be systems. So remember, systems is when we graph 2 or more equations on the same line. We can have one solution, which means they are intersecting. Have no solutions. These are going to be parallel lines. This is when you have the same slope and different b's. Infinite means it's the exact same equation. Alright, they're identical. You can put them into the calculator. Remember, if you hit delete, you can change your inequality. You can also see when we have a system of inequalities, your solution is where the shading overlaps. And then here's some notes about above and below and solid versus dotted lines. So on this one, we're going to look at graphing the inequality. So you need to change this to y equals. So we're going to add 2x. This is on our paper on category 1. We're going to divide everything by 7. So we get y equals 2 over 7x. A negative divided by a positive is a negative. So my b is negative 6. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not equals. This is an inequality. Remember, we flip the inequality. If we divide by a negative, I divided by a positive, so I'm good. Rise over run. Rise 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or equal to tells me it is a solid line, like what we have over here, and it's less than, so I'm going to shade below. So everything on the line and below is a solution. If you want to know if it's a solution set here, you have a couple of options. You can graph or you can plug in the numbers. So I'm going to show you both of those real quick. So if I go to graph, I can put in, this is going to be less than, so I need to hit the delete button. Less than is here. And then I can say negative 3 over 4.